We're sitting here with Riccardo Lucas, childhood friend of Myron Piggie. Appreciate you joining us for this interview. You and I go back, but I want to first ask you kind of your relationship with Myron and just your first memories of meeting him growing up.
I was on the porch, and my brother walked up. We got a bunch of brothers, and they got brothers, and I have brothers.
Mm-hmm.
So our community's kind of expanded on our families. So you don't know who you come bringing home to the house.
Mm-hmm.
And he brought this big grizzly
bear,
8th grader to the door. And so he was bigger than all of us.
In 8th grade.
In 8th grade. And so I was looking at it, who is this new? Because we had just moved in the neighborhood on 24th and Montgomery. And so we went to Lincoln. My brothers went to Lincoln Middle School. And I was supposed to go to Lincoln High School. When I went to school, I went to Lincoln High School. And so, they brought this, my brother, he played basketball and football. And so they were always at the Boys and Girls School.
Mm-hmm.
So that was the joint. And so we meet all these different people, Boys and Girls Club, at these various community centers. And he brought this big grizzly guy home.
What kind of kid was he in the 8th grade? Because he was already bigger than everybody. He was probably a bully. Was he a bully?
Actually, he wasn't a bully.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, actually, he was not. Actually, he wasn't a bully. He was sports oriented. He was anxious. You could tell he was anxious because in the 8th grade, he should have been playing like a sophomore. He could have been a sophomore, junior, because that was a girl. That was his size.
Mm-hmm.
But no, he wasn't a bully. He was just a big guy. You already knew. It's going to be some problems over there. So you don't need a bully there. Yeah.
Gotcha. So growing up in Kansas City with Myron, kind of talk a little bit about the complexities of growing up, on the east side of Kansas City during that time. What's some of the things that you all kind of faced, together?
Yeah. So we were oriented by high schools. Lincoln High School, Central, Paseo, East, Northeast. And so those were the various boundaries, neighborhood community boundaries. And so everybody had different neighborhoods that they embraced, different schools that they embraced. And so within that, if you should happen to cross over to somebody else's area for a basketball game or some other entertainment, you would be challenged to get back home safely. And so you would have to navigate those conversations and navigate those different attitudes that you were going to face along that route. But yeah, it was different in the regard that we walked. We walked on the ground. We were on the ground every day. We got cars, bikes, electric bikes, things like that. But then we were walking. There were no cell phones, no pages at that time. So everything was walking on the public bus. So you had to engage on the ground with everybody. It wasn't driving by anybody. You had to engage, you had to walk. So it was going in neighborhoods, going in parks, going to community centers. And that's what you engage with different people in the community.
Okay. So back then you said you had to walk, you had to engage. You were kind of divided by schools, by the boundaries. So talk about the loyalty that comes with that when you're running with your guys, you cross over and we fight, one fight, we all fight. Talk a little bit about just the streets in Kansas City at that time, because you guys were still young enough, but just at that cusp of young adulthood or young manhood.
Correct. First off, standard operation equipment in Kansas City is a 1-2 and a bob. If you don't have that, you will get knocked out.
You said a 1-2 and a bob.
And a bob.
Okay, that's standard.
Standard operating equipment.
Okay.
Around town.
So you had to have that.
You had to have that.
Okay.
And you didn't have to be the best boxer. You didn't have to knock everybody out. But you had to be willing to scrap.
Okay.
Or nobody wanted to run with you. You had to be willing to say, hey, man, it's your turn. Man up. They want you today. Go out there. Give them your best. 1-2, cover up. So you didn't win them all. Sometimes you got some losses, but But at least your men, the
There you
people
go.
be like, okay, that's our man. Pick him up. That's our
Pick
man.
him up.
Yeah.
So where was Myron in all of this? Because I'm gonna let you tell.
Yeah. See, so here's the deal. I had a personal experience with a gentleman who later ended up on death row. And he was a very scary individual. And he caught us at a basketball event, park. And I knew at some point, you could tell, and they was picking you out, you knew at some point he was going to pick you.
Oh, okay.
For the engagement. You just didn't know what day, but you had to know, moving around town, your day was coming with that guy. And so he picked me one day. Myron was there.
Uh-huh.
And Bobby was there. And so, but they didn't engage the guy. It was just me with the guy. And so that's how those things went. You had your men, they were there to support you. Now some other guys were there, they would probably did some business. But first off, you had to handle your own business in the town. And those guys were like big supporters. if you had people on your team, you probably could win.
You're good.
Probably could win a couple of scraps.
So tell me about a story that you remember from Myron in your childhood growing up. One that you could share that kind of sheds lights on Myron's personality overall.
Well, Myron helped a lot of people. He kept a lot of people safe. And I mean that by his friendship with a lot of people. Again, your point about they thought he was a bully, but he really wasn't a bully. He was good with the people that he was good with. Gotcha. And so if you had that type of relationship, then that's where it was going to be. It's going to end up in your favor should some situations come up.
So talk a little bit about Myron as an athlete at Lincoln. We kind of heard the stories of him, one with his size, but two, just being that freshman and getting into Lincoln. Talk about him as an athlete.
Okay, so me and my brothers, we played sports. We watched all players, okay, all the high schools, because we would go. It'd be a proud moment when we played sports. High school, interscholastic community sports, he was a bad man. Myron, due to his size coming in, I have not seen a linebacker from his playing day to today. Not one. I've seen them. They're not that guy. I've seen them both. Got this new Facebook they be talking.
Right.
No, man, no, you're not. Dre Carter, I believe.
Yeah.
No, you're not, Dre. No, you're not, man. That was the premier linebacker. That was the premier games when they played, particularly when they played together, the three Piggie brothers. They call them three little piggies. They was like, we're going to get the three little piggies.
The three little piggies.
Three little piggies.
Okay.
Yeah, we're going to get the three little piggies. I remember the only person that had a neck the same size as mine was Charles Shirley. He played for Maggie. And I was waiting for them to play one day. And they finally ended up playing. They met in the hole. And he tore Charles' ass.
Did he?
Tore him up.
Because he likes to talk about it. So you already know Mr. Lucas. He tells me all the stories. So I said, wait till I ask Mr. Lucas.
Yeah, no, it's real.
You said it's real?
Hey, man, these guys, if you look at the linebackers, just go look at them. Just look at all the old school books. The sides, look at their neck size. They were not athletic. They did not have the speed, the dexterity. They didn't have it. And I look at them. I'm waiting to see somebody that was on that same par in high school as Myron Piggie. There's not one. I haven't seen one. He had that injury that slowed him down. If you look at it, he got those incisions on his knee. So that's what impacted him.
Gotcha.
But other than that, nobody around this town.
So growing up, did you ever imagine that Myron Piggie's name would be so widely known, not only in Kansas City, but throughout the country?
Well, I thought he would be successful in football. I really did, because at that time, they were the team, the name in football, the Piggie brothers. They were the name, and they were formidable. two linebackers, and one safety.
Okay.
They were from Memphis. Bobby linebacker, Brian safety, and they were from Memphis.
Mm-hmm.
And so I haven't seen anybody compete on that level since that time at the linebacker position, since those guys.
Okay. So when it comes to like Myron as an athlete, but then Myron in the streets, can you talk a little bit about how you've seen the transition, or even if it was at the same time of him being an athlete in high school, and then after high school, talk a little bit about that.
Yeah. See, during high school, there was no street ambitions. It was only football, parties, after parties. That's what that was.
That was it.
We didn't have any street ambitions at all. It was only football, basketball, and girls. Other than that, we didn't have an interest in it. The occasional skirmish that we may have in the neighborhood, that kept us on alert.
Mm-hmm.
But the only thing that was really interesting to us was sports. That was our thing.
So even back in the in the 70s, talking about how impactful youth sports were, high school sports were, keeping kids out of the streets. So where did you see the turn come with Myron?
So I probably started noticing the turn come when you start getting involved in coaching, transitioning into that coaching spirit. There are challenges in our community that put us in a position to make decisions that are not always to our best advantage, or are not always the best decision or the best route to take and avenue to travel. So, and we all had those decisions to make. And because right after high school myself, I went to prison.
Mm-hmm.
So 17, I'm in prison. You see, so I'm in prison, they're still in high school.
Right.
When I come out there, I'll graduate. 2 year window in there.
Mm-hmm.
Backstab there, I'll graduate with brothers of mine, those guys. And so you gotta make decisions there. What we gonna do? School's over. No college degrees, no college offers.
Mm-hmm.
What does the job market look like? And that's when I think, a turning point came for a lot of young folk at that time, right during high school, right after high school, that window there, because you got to look around where am I going, what to do.
Yeah, it was opportunity.
I believe you have children, child here, there.
Yep.
You see, so now your decisions are different. And your pressures are different too. You can't stay at the house now. School's over, you gotta go.
Right.
So the decisions are different, the pressures become different. And that's where I believe many of us take a route that we might want to reconsider before we take it. And so this is a story about a journey of people who made decisions and we overcome some conversations, some decisions that they made. But you gotta know long and loud those decisions. It's interpreting times.
Mm-hmm.
Fraught with hard decisions about your life, how you approach things, how you approach people, how you perceive in the world, scarlet letters.
Absolutely.
So, it's a real challenge, particularly coming from the east side. If you look at the economic demographics that we come from, many of us didn't have a whole lot of economic advantages that we seek to offer others at this stage of our life, and try to provide those educational moments to the next generation to make sure they understand these are the things that took place. This is how I failed. This is how I came back. So you want to share those with as many people as you can to make sure they understand that there is retribution. There is an opportunity to overcome your hurdles.
So when Turning Point, Myron kind of gets off into the streets, like you said, you pointed out so eloquently, the decisions that have to be made. So when he made the decision to then get into coaching and got with, the people he got with and Nike and what. So what did you think about that and his involvement when it came to coaching?
Oh, man.
Because you're a sports guy, so we know that.
Man, we was loving it, man. We was loving it because, first off, you had some gunslinger players out of Kansas City. Don't get it twisted.
Okay.
Come see you wherever you at. We had gunslinger players out of Kansas City. That's for a fact. And so to assemble them players, that was amazing. Me and my brother started coaching baseball when I was 19, he had to be 17, something like that. We didn't win a game, but that's not the point. We put the team together, and the team loved playing with us.
Sure did.
We almost won a game, and it went crazy.
Almost won a game. Didn't even actually win it. We almost won one.
They almost won.
Okay.
And we went and had a pizza party after that.
That's it.
They loved us. Mike, my man, he lives in Chicago now. But the deal is that when we saw Myron, it encouraged other people to get teams. Mm-hmm. If Myron wasn't the only person with a team, mm-hmm. You had a lot of different players, former players, that had AAU teams that were coaching in different leagues, things like that. The top flight players started gravitating towards coaches that they felt more comfortable with. Mm-hmm. And Myron was one of those. And so he started getting the top rated players in the city. They wanted to play because these guys were moving. They weren't just stuck local. Mm-hmm. They were able to move or have some conversations around some different states, some different programs. That opened up their opportunities, and it put more light on Kansas City. Mm-hmm. Because if you look back at it, before then, there was not a lot of light on the Kansas City AAU program.
No, it wasn't.
So Myron put that light on Kansas City AAU program, hands down.
Yeah.
And so, because he brought the exposure, he was helping kids get what they couldn't get, and that was access, trips, and being able to have access to leagues, not in this area, different programs, bigger programs, more talented players. That's what he gave them opportunity to be involved in.
Okay. So with that transition and watching him coach, giving that access to players, what did you think about how everything went down after the fact when he was indicted for, quote, paying players? What was your thoughts on that?
They can indict us all because we all gave money, food, shelter.
Yeah.
Man, I was thinking, wow, you could come and get all of us. Because it was second nature. You didn't even think about it. It was like, if I'm going to pick a kid up and I'm going to tell his parent, I'm going to bring him back Sunday morning, we're going to take him to some tournaments. Mm-hmm. We're going to have him all weekend. She trusts me. She trusts our program to take care of her child. I would hope she would trust me to feed the kid and make sure he has a safe place to lay his head while we're doing our basketball, football business. And so that portion of this thing really aggravated me watching what was taking place because we're never gonna ever stop looking out for us. Absolutely. You care how many indictments you bring down. We're gonna never stop feeding each other. We're not gonna ever stop giving each other clothing, shelter. You can send all your indictments. Mm-hmm. We're never gonna stop doing that. That's what we did that before we met you. Mm-hmm. We're gonna continue to do that. And so to see a person lambasted because of a process that we were involved in, and in that process, we did what we naturally do. I don't know. I pick people up. I don't even know him. My brother's a coach. He say, man, I got a game in Liberty, Missouri. I need you to go get my players. Bring them to me.
Go get Michael Watson.
Go get Michael Watson.
I was like, all right, let's go.
I pull up. I'm outside, man. Beep, beep, man. Come on. Get in the car. to the game, man. Michael Watson, a whole bunch of kids, black, white, Latino. Mm-hmm. We work with them all. It don't matter where they come from. If they come in our care, that's what we do with them.
So with the contrast to the day, the NIL, and what these, I see your face. I hope we got that look. The NIL and what these young people are making, and we love it for them. We love it because
we would have did it then.
We would have did it then. So in contrast, when looking at that, give me your thoughts on it, because you touched on the socioeconomic, effects of kids from the East Side and those opportunities with NIL. Give me your thoughts on this.
We would have created NIL opportunities. We could have done that with the various pools of people that we know. How many? We already had an NIL. How many little league teams had somebody's name on their sponsor? Go look at your old pictures. Mm-hmm. What little league team had that Harold Johnson's name or Mr. King's store over here, Leon's over here on 39th?
Good to go.
Good to go. You had their team. That was an NIL deal.
NIL. I never looked at it like that.
That was NIL. I'm sponsoring that team.
Yep.
I'm sponsoring those players. I'm NIL. That was NIL.
It was looked at, the NCAA, and we know we could go down a rabbit hole with that. Billions of dollars in TV revenue deals with college kids, and they would say, we're giving you a scholarship. Be happy with that. Where you got CEOs making multi-millions of dollars. And then Myron gets indicted on that, goes to prison for that, whereas today it would be looked upon as nothing.
Yeah, see, Myron was a scapegoat in that entire situation. How can one guy go to prison? In all of these scenarios, one guy in this town, in Kansas City, he was the only person. None of the people that sponsored their program, none of those people had a conversation with the feds. None of them. None of those people from the west side of town had a conversation with the feds about that situation. They didn't talk with people in the towers about that conversation. They had teams. They sponsored players. They put money on the table. They fed kids. They bought them clothes too. None of them had an indictment. How did that happen? And so, again, to this point, even after that, we continue to do the same thing. We're not going to ever stop supporting our youth in the way that we do it. Because nobody gave us a rule book or a playbook to do it from to begin with. Me and my brother, when we started coaching, we just had a baseball bat and a signature with the YMCA that we would go get the players and they would play for us. That was it. That's all we had. And so people have made it more than that. Today, it's still just sports. People engaging with our youth. How do they do that? Do they bring their best forward? Or how they treat our children? Or they mistreat them? Are they taking from them? Are they stealing from them? Are they stealing their money? Mm-hmm. Is that happening? I don't think so. The narrative is this. Anytime our players rise, and he had risers. Absolutely. He had risers. The players on his team, a couple of those guys, NBA prospects, made the NBA. So then you have people that want to control their narrative, tell them who to be friends with, tell them how to spend their money where they will, who to associate with. Then they want to start picking the narrative for them. Suddenly the narrative of us is not the best narrative anymore. We're not the best friends anymore. We fed you at night, took you, made sure you and your family was good. We're not the best friends anymore. We got to go get new friends. That's the narrative as soon as you start rising. As soon as they saw talent on his team, that's when they came after him. And none of the people that were above him that was giving those people the money, none of those people targeted the conversation.
It's very true. So my last question to you, if when you think about Myron Piggie, what is his legacy in your eyes from childhood even to now? What is his legacy in your eyes?
Solid guy, father, friend, neighborhood, compatriot, to our youth. You can't find youth that could tell you that Myron mistreated them. He abused them. He took anything from them. No, man, they had a party. Mm-hmm. They had a big knucklehead party going around the country when they was hooping. They was having a ball, man. They had a ball, as they should have. It was all fun, man. These other people made it something else. Mm. For us, it was fun. It was what we did, man. This is how we had fun, seeing our people be able to get off. Absolutely. That's how we got off, man. That's how we got off. Seeing you get them points over there in education, that's how we got off, man. Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, I appreciate that, Mr. Lucas. Thank you, brother. Thank you. That was beautiful, man.